Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's going to be me and Jess today. We're going to be talking about sort of a few popular diets, what some would say FAD diets, stuff like that. Give our opinions on a few of them, see where it goes, and then sort of give our opinion on what you should do. So I guess we'll get started with. Do you have anything to just broad to start off? Should we just get straight into specifics? Or?
Straight into it. I don't think it's going to be more so.
Roast.
Yeah, you were saying opinions.
Welcome to the roast of all this stuff.
All right then.
No. Yes. No.
Well, shall we start with the most popular one that's going around at the moment, which is
a recent.
Yep.
Recent one. Yep.
Yep. Cool.
Which is.
Well, I've seen a lot of, especially on social media lately, a lot of low carb, high fat / keto, Atkins, whatever they want to go named by, which is basically low carb, high fat diets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them recommend that you stay under 20 grams of carbs a day, which is rather ridiculous.
Borderline impossible.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out there. Okay, not impossible.
I would say that the biggest issue with that diet is actually adhering to it. Not only is it limited, but 20 carbs of grams a day is just...
20 grams of carbs.
Is that what I said?
Nope. 20 carbs of grams a day.
Whatever. But obviously that's just going to... one, you're ruling out fruits and vegetables. So not only are you limiting your micronutrients, but you're limiting your vitamins and minerals and everything like that. It's
your natural ways of getting them in,
exactly.
I suppose, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. They do take supplements and stuff like that, but what's the point? You might as well...
You can't, yeah.
It defeats the purpose to me, and it's just going to cause binging long term. I truly do not believe that anybody could stick to that for their entire life. You're not going to avoid carbohydrates for the rest of your life. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, in the first few days, people will lose water weight, and therefore they think that obviously it's the best thing ever. Yeah. But it's just water weight at the end of the day, and as soon as you end up binging, which you're going to do, you're going to stack that weight back on, so have fun with that.
And I think they will lose weight in that first week. They might lose weight every week for a little while. You're not going to do it forever.
No, not at all. Here's a picture of the lunch that I have most days, which is basically a big coleslaw mix. I add tuna in there, I add pickled onions, pomegranate, stuff like that. Just that serve is 30 grams of carbs a day. Yeah. 30 grams of carbs. And if you're only allowed 20 a day, that just shows you what you're ruling out. You can't even have a bloody salad. Which is dumb as fuck if you're going to ask me. But anyway,
and just
I think we need to move on from that one.
Or just to make it very clear, that's not all the carbs you'll have in a day.
No, that's just lunch.
That's just a smidge.
Yeah, exactly my point.
It's not like Jess is saying you can't have 20, you have to limit it at 30, because that's her lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, I actually Googled before this just to make sure that it was 20 grams of carbs per day, and like the big list was like, learn it, must not exceed. I was like, shit.
Stuff
like that. That's not cool. So if you need to cut vegetables and fruits...
Yeah. I'm having more than 10 times that.
Skeptical.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
So the next... Yeah, you go.
I mean, I would say that the next highest popular one is probably Arcegenics and Herbalife.
Well, there's a bunch of... they're definitely the two biggest ones, I'd say.
Yeah. If I could think of a positive for them, it would be that they're finally phasing out and that people aren't following them anymore. That's the only positive that I can think of for them.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see as much.
Again, I don't think they're realistic. Most people who have started them...
That's going to be...
It's not doing it anymore, are they?
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of... It's going to be the common thing about all of these. A lot of them just aren't attainable forever.
And it's proven because look how popular it was and not anymore suddenly. So... Just saying.
Yeah, you can't just...
It's expensive.
It's ridiculously expensive.
I've seen breakdown lists of all the ingredients and how if you buy them just separately, those ingredients, it's like 10% of what they're charging. So, I mean, it's one of those things that people thought they could make money off and retire off of, but who's laughing now? So, again, let's move on before I offend anyone.
Some people make a lot of money, but not many.
Yeah, slim pickings.
All right. Do I have anything to add to that? Not really. Just mentioned most of it. I don't think you can do it forever, and I don't know if you're meant to do it forever.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, yes, you'll lose weight in the
You're gonna
first
lose.
week or
You
so.
are going to lose weight.
If you're in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight, but
Yeah.
you're also going
Exactly.
to
With any of these, all of these things are going to be a calorie deficit. You are always going to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's a matter of whether, when you stop, when, not if, you're going to put weight back on. You're going to go back to your old habits. You're going to straight back on to what you were the day you started. Cool.
Cool.
Next up, very popular one. This thing's been around.
Yes.
Our
And it's not
lives.
the only
I
one,
don't know how long.
but obviously it's one of the big ones. Weight Watchers. So Weight Watchers is the one that is actually points based, which is what I would say is maybe a positive, purely because it is flexible in that way, that you can have whatever you want. It's just that if you're going to have a piece of cake, you might have to slow down on your portion size for dinner or something like that, because you only get allocated a certain amount of points per day. I don't know exactly what it is, but again, if you use all those points,
does it vary to people?
I'm not too sure. I know that the other positive I know for sure is that you actually have to go to meetings, whether it be online or in person, which keeps you accountable, which I reckon is one of the massive things which does help with dieting. So,
And I'd say that's one of the things as to why it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
This thing, I don't think we're going to bag it too much.
No, the only negative that I can think of is that it is expensive. So you're paying for these meetings and whatnot. And even if you are to go to the shop and buy a frozen Weight Watchers meal or something like that, they're one of the expensive ones. All those frozen meals are. So, but it's the same as like Jenny Craig and all of that. Usually they're pretty, good in the way of because of the meetings. I reckon is one of the top points for those ones.
That's the support group.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
With the professionals, the people who run it, and then plus all the other peers in there. Hopefully they'll make friends and sort of thing. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm gonna check after this. I don't know. I want to know if there's personalised points, because obviously we know I would eat more food than Jess.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. So the thing with Weight Watchers specifically, I don't know. I would hope so. And I would think that these days especially they'd be smart enough to, because obviously age, I would assume that it's mostly women going to those sort of ones, but in saying that, age, job, activities, they can all determine what you burn per day, and obviously weight loss is all about energy in versus energy out, so they're smart enough to know that these days, and hopefully it would be personalised.
Sure.
Especially because of how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on.
That's Weight Watchers. Cool. Next one, we sort of want to touch on your paleo or your caveman diets.
So basically, it's that diet is based on if you could eat it 1,000 years ago, then you can eat it now. So you've got your fruits and vegetables, which is great, and you've got your lean meats and whatnot.
Or any meat.
Yeah. The only thing that I find weird about it is that it does rule out not only dairy and grains, but like starchy vegetables. So you can't have like potatoes or sweet potatoes. You can't have honey. You can't have peanuts. You can't have rice. You can't have peas. I don't know why someone would have to rule out peas from their diet, but again, it's all about eliminating foods, which is going to make you lose weight eventually if you are eliminating and it's causing a calorie deficit. But at the same time, why do you have to eliminate peanuts and rice? And you know what I mean? So
as soon as you start limiting anything, I think that makes it unattainable.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another one that I would rule out because it's simply not sustainable. And I think that it was popular, and now it's suddenly not, and it just proves that nobody can follow these things long term.
And even if you're thinking to yourself, but I follow it, you're probably not. With a lot of these things, a lot of people think they're doing this, think they're doing that. Like, you're not doing what this is said. So I'm not saying what you're doing is not going to work. I'm just saying you're not doing it as it's meant to be, which is what we're going off.
Yeah.
So we're sort of saying
most
if you
people
do it
aren't
perfectly,
following 100% exactly
as to what it says, that's not doable.
Yeah. I'm guessing why
play
do they
with
rule
it,
out starchy veg? Is it because you have to cook it and you couldn't cook it 1,000 years ago? I don't know.
You could.
I'd eat a raw potato if I had to.
Make it fine. You'll be right.
I don't know why they rule out starchy veg.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not sure.
And peanuts as well. Like, surely don't they come off a tree?
Yeah.
So I don't know then. But anyway.
Yeah. So yeah.
Each to their own, guys. Each to their own.
Any of these things, yeah. If you do change it and you make it work for you, perfect. That's good, but it's not this. It's not these things.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think, obviously, if people are changing them, then they are making it more sustainable. And at the end of the day, you're not following a diet anymore. You're just eating healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah. One thing, we had a couple of things we wanted to go over. One more thing I'm going to add in, because I know you know about it, and I know about it. A couple of people that we trained have mentioned it.
Huh? Am I going to get in trouble here?
Who cares? We'll be right.
Yellow.
Slimming World? That's where So Slimming World, I haven't actually looked into...
What do they call it? The points?
Sins. So yeah, I haven't looked into it. All I've been told about it is from my clients that have followed it.
You know who you are.
Yeah, if you get a certain amount of sins a day, so you know.
Kind of like points.
Yeah. Reverse of points. It's like you're allowed X amount of bad things or whatever. The one major thing I don't agree with. This is a weight loss diet, and it says pasta. I think maybe bread, but potato is free. You can have as much of it as you want per day.
Baked beans, stuff like that. Like, yeah, I love baked beans, but don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're high in calories. Like,
you have as much pasta as you want. You chuck cups and cups of pasta on. Obviously, you have to be smart. If you chuck cups and cups of pasta on, you're not going to lose weight. I'm not saying you can't eat pasta. I'm saying it's not free. You can't have as much as you want.
I was trying to find some photos. You can look it up on Instagram. I've seen it pop up in my feed all the time. And it's crazy. These people are having like full-blown, potatoes are obviously free or whatever. So they're having potato loaded with meat and beans and cheese and stuff like that. And I don't understand. I can see how it's sustainable, but I don't understand how people could lose weight on that because...
Yeah, that's where I want to go. I think also with any of these things we've mentioned, there's gonna be people that it works for.
Yeah.
There's gonna be...
Because they're probably thoughtful about their portion sizes. Yeah. That's another thing that's good with Weight Watchers, is that it's portion control.
Yeah.
You know, if you are getting the pre-made meals and whatnot, it forces you to learn portions, whereas this one, I don't think you're forced to learn that whatsoever.
Yeah. But what I was saying, you might have a friend that tried this and it worked really well. They've got one friend that tried this and it really worked. What about the million people that it doesn't work for? The amount of people that try all this stuff and it just doesn't work for. So there's going to be the anomalies where, it works and it pays off and you might get a miracle story and, they end up on TV because they did so well. That's one of a million or whatever. I wouldn't take those chances. Stuff that. Alrighty, enough roasting. I think we're going to get into our solution or our best way of going forward about it.
Dylan and I follow.
We definitely follow the same sort of system.
And what we'd recommend. So this diet, if you want to call it that, is the If It Fits Your Macro diet. So
flexible diet.
You would have seen it.
Yep.
Definitely if you are in the fitness industry.
Or if you've talked to me about food.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah. So what that one focuses on is both macronutrients and micronutrients and just calorie counting at the end of the day. Yeah. So not only does it give you a total set amount of calories that you have to follow, but it splits it into macronutrients for you. So it's ensuring that your body's getting the right amount of protein, fats and carbohydrates and micronutrients or your vitamins and minerals in order to lose weight in a healthy aspect and a healthy way. So that one's good because you're not cutting out anything in particular.
You are allowed to have anything you want.
That fits in your macros.
Anything that fits. So exactly. you have, just going plain numbers, you get 200 grams of carbohydrates a day, 150 grams of protein a day, 70, 80 grams of fat a day. You can have whatever you want as long as it all adds up into those amounts.
Yeah.
Hang on, it can be even more broad than that. You can just go calorie counting.
Yeah, totally. Which,
in terms of on the scales, your mass is going to go up and down.
I would always recommend that you at least follow the protein that it recommends.
Yeah.
But fats and carbohydrates can both
source.
be. They're both an interchangeable food energy source.
Yeah.
I, for one, find it hard to get my fats in because I don't like a lot of good fats, and so. Yeah. And so, are you being sarcastic?
I was thinking if you want to get fats in, chocolate.
Yeah, but like all your good fats.
Yeah.
So if I don't want to,
And you don't always want to eat crap
skyrocket.
just because
Exactly.
you're allowed to.
And at the end of the day, you are calorie counting still. So if you are eating like crap, yeah, you're still going to be limited. You can have this massive bowl of salad, or you can have a tiny piece of chocolate cake. It's
Yeah.
completely up to you, whatever you prefer. But just make sure that at the end of the day, you are full, so that you're not going to end up, binging again. Or whatnot. The good thing about macro counting is that it's based on the individual. So usually it's based on
If it's done right.
Yeah, so it's based on like a BMR, so your base metabolic rate, which is how much your body burns just living, breathing, keeping you alive, plus how much you burn every day to day.
By what you do.
Yeah.
How much you move, what
A
you
lot
do
of
for a
people-
job. If you're in a chair all day, you don't burn as much calories as someone working out in the sun, bloody pulling bricks all day.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have like Fitbits these days, and I know that they tell you your BMR, which is good because it's obviously a lot more accurate than a lot of the like online calculators and stuff out there. Whilst they are good and they'll give you a rough idea, something that's actually tracking your individual heart rate all day is obviously going to be more accurate.
Yeah.
So.
Then it gets on what we sort of touched on the things. They're not expensive,
Yeah.
but they're not free. So it's a matter of if you buy one, they're definitely better for you.
Yeah. But otherwise, the only bad negative about it would be that it can be time consuming.
Yep.
In the way of if you're eating something different every single day, then yes, you do have to look it up and log it and track it. But if you're having basically the same lunch every day or whatnot, and you only have to look up different recipes for dinner, then it's really not that bad at all.
Yep. I still don't, personally, I do one diet. I'll calculate my diet and I'll stick on it for 2 weeks. If I'm still not sick of the food and I'm still getting results, I'll probably stay on it for another week. Probably another week, and then after a month, I'll definitely change it because my body's going to be changing anyway.
If you do have a Fitbit and you have your BMR or your daily burn and you want to know what you should be eating to lose weight, obviously just eating underneath that, so energy in versus energy out again, is going to help you lose weight. As a general rule of thumb, 500 calories per day underneath your burn rate will total between half a kilo and a kilo at the end of the week. So that's just a general rule of thumb, and hopefully my intelligence will help you.
It works pretty much perfectly. When I follow my diet to be 500 calories under a day, I lose 500 grams a week.
Exactly, and when people aren't, I know you're lying.
Simple as that, yeah.
So when people come to us for personalised meal plans and whatnot, and they're not losing weight, that's how we know that you're lying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Straight up.
We know.
We didn't mess up. What was I going to say? Also, someone asked me, I was talking to a client earlier about this, and they were like, but it takes too long, it's too hard. That's when you pay someone to do it for you. There's always ways around it. What else was I going to say?
Or just eat more simply. Like, don't have such complicated foods and whatnot. If you are eating out, a lot of menus these days do have at least kilojoules on the menu. If you're trying to convert kilojoules into calories, divide it by 4, that's roughly the amount of calories. So if it's 1,000 kilojoules, then it's about 250 calories. Obviously, that's only rough, but if you are out and
Rough's
about...
good enough.
Yeah, right?
Close
Because
enough-
hopefully
close
you're
enough,
burning
good
more
enough.
anyway,
Yeah.
so then you're estimating. Always underestimate your burn and always overestimate your food.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's try and put on weight.
Yeah, obviously,
Does that go backwards?
then it's a lot different.
Does that go backwards? I don't know. I don't know what you said. No. I just do not. I can't comprehend it. Putting on weight, it's not always weight loss. You go 500 calories over a day, you're putting on half a kilo a week.
Yeah.
Is it all going to be muscle? No.
Just make sure you
not.
train hard and make sure your protein intake is up there, and then you'll be fine anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I was sort of getting at ages ago, a couple of minutes ago. If you just stick to calories, your numbers on the scales, the mass of body will go up or down depending on your deficit or surplus of calories. Where you get into macros and more specific is where you start doing it better. You're going to burn more fat, lose less muscle, or put on more muscle, put on less fat if you're going up. So if you can be macro specific, that's the best way to go. If you find it's too hard, you're whinging too much, to be honest, just stick to calories. And you're going to go up or down.
Yeah. At the end of the day, most of the diets that we've gone into are based on calories anyway. So
Yeah.
cool.
Well, they all are.
Yeah.
They're all a matter of having less calories
Then you're.
than you're burning.
Yeah.
A lot of them are way too low.
Yeah. And that's why they're not sustainable.
A lot of them are ridiculously low.
Yeah. That's all for another time. If you have any questions, then you know where to come.
Yeah.
If you have any arguments, then I'm more than willing to roast you.
Flexible dieting's the way to go. And I don't think that's just our opinion. I think you ask anyone with half a brain, that's what they're doing. That's what the majority of people are doing because it's so good. You're not limited to anything. I could, instead of having oats for my breakfast today, I could get Cocoa Pops. I'm not going to.
Because you could have more oats than you could Cocoa Pops.
Doesn't matter. I'm getting Cocoa Pops today.
Half and half. All right,
Just
then.
in, Cocoa Pops for breakfast.
Wrap it
Before
up.
I start rambling on. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for our next video. Bye.